Marco, and I'm in the combined bachelor's master's program here at Towson University. And in 1 month, I'm graduating, and I'm so excited. Currently, I'm in my last semester here at Towson and taking one of our last OT grad courses, Issues in Occupational Therapy, with Dr. Lawson. And we were asked to choose an advocacy topic for our advocacy project. And I thought, what better than to advocate for you, the students of the OT program? So I'm here to talk to you about how to emphasize your professionalism as you grow through the program and how to make the best decisions to help give you an edge. And along the way, you'll hear from other graduate students like myself who'll give you tips and experiences that shape their professionalism. Good first impressions are crucial. Your appearance is the first thing supervisors, professionals, and employers are going to see, and they can say a lot about a person. When it comes to what you're wearing, style, fit, color, the cleanliness of your clothes, the accessories that you choose, those are all taken into account. But it's not always just what you're wearing, it's also nonverbal cues and maybe things like the firmness of your handshake, the way you carry yourself, your eye contact, your posture, your confidence and enthusiasm. Those are all things noticed when it comes to a professional appearance.
You want to look professional, so nice button-down shirt, a tie that matches. You want to wear either khakis or dress pants. Make sure you're wearing nice shoes, preferably dress shoes, more casual, or not casual, but more formal wear. And make sure your belt matches your shoes.
So what wouldn't you wear to a professional setting?
I wouldn't wear what I'm wearing right now. You don't want to be wearing tennis shoes. You don't want to be wearing a shirt that's not tucked in or just a t-shirt. Jeans are never good.
I would say business casual, probably khakis, dress slacks. You want to make sure you have closed-toed shoes, so no sandals or anything like that. A blazer or cardigan sweater, something that covers you because you want to look professional. You have to be careful with your jewelry, so no dangly necklaces like the one I'm wearing now. Yep, and if you have tattoos, I guess you have to cover those up too, just to make yourself look professional.
Over your time here, you really want to build rapport and a good relationship with your professors and staff here because they're going to be your support system. They're going to be the people that you're going to go to for advice and questions as you move along through the program. And next, I want to show you a video that I found on YouTube talking about how to speak to your professors, and I found it really entertaining, so hope you do too. Enjoy.
Hello, and welcome to Speaking to Professors, a comprehensive guide. My name is Professor Pulitzer, and I'm somewhat of a professor professional. I know the ins and outs of professors better than anybody. By the end of this guide, I hope you have the necessary tools and confidence required to speak to your professor. Shall we begin? Before you even dream of having a conversation with your professor, there's some prep work that must be completed. First off, you must listen very carefully on the first day of classes. Your professor should tell you exactly what he or she wishes to be called.
Good morning, students, and welcome to History 330, Russian Studies. My name is Dr. Hans Gottfried Guggenheim. They call me this because it is my name. But you all, yes, you all, can just call me Dr. Hans.
Did you catch that? If not, you can always ask that student that you know was paying attention. No, not him. Ah, there he is. The next step in preparation for the powwow with your professor is picking a time that is suitable for your dialogue. Essentially, you have 3 options. If you have a quick question, after class might be your best bet.
Professor Plum, do you have a minute?
Why, of course.
Okay, great. You spent a lot of time today talking about Colonel Mustard and the lead pipe. I was wondering if it's fair to assume that the crime occurred in the ballroom?
Excellent question. But I believe you've jumped to conclusions. I suggest rereading the text, chapter 4, and reconsidering the motives of Miss Scarlet.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Professor. Have a great weekend.
If your question is longer or you wish to inquire about a specific grade, you should probably consider attending the professor's office hours. You can find these on the course outline or syllabus. If you cannot make the professor's regular office hours, you can send him an email to book a different time to meet.
Hello, Professor Stewart. I have a couple questions regarding the essay that you assigned. I have decided on a topic, but I'm having trouble locating the academic sources and I'm feeling kind of stuck. I can't make your office hours this week, so I was wondering if there was another time that we could get together and talk about the assignment.
Don't forget to put the course name and your section number in the subject bar, and end with your full name and student number. That way, the professor will be able to tell who you are.
Thanks in advance. James Bond. V007.
Once you've secured a meeting with your professor, prepare what you're going to say, and get to the point. They haven't got all day.
Okay. Unique New York. Unique New York. Okay. Hello, Professor. I'm here to meet with you today hello, Professor. I'm here today to meet with you to discuss...
Gear down, Big Rig. Just jotting down some of the general ideas you'd like to cover in the meeting should suffice. This will give some guidance to the conversation and help keep things moving. Always take a careful approach to a conversation with your professor. Never lead with questions about grades or how to get an A+. Otherwise...
Hey bro, you gave me a B on that last paper. You know I'm a straight A student, right? I had my sister read that. She said it was at least an A+.
Guards.
How's that for an A+, punk?
Instead, you should begin by asking the professor their reasoning behind your grades, and then you can inquire as to how you can improve your work. The professor will always be more receptive to a student who wishes to learn, as opposed to a student who only wants an A.
Hello, Professor. I noticed that you gave me a B on the last assignment, and I was just wondering if we could maybe go over it. You could explain your reasoning, and then we can talk about how I can improve my work for the next assignment.
Absolutely. Would you like some milk and cookies before we begin?
See? Far more receptive. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's that your professors, well, they're just people. Sometimes rather odd people who have dedicated their entire life to research in one seemingly boring topic, but nonetheless they are people. If you treat them with respect and approach them with a sense of diplomacy and politeness, they'll always be willing to help you out.
So I really hope you enjoyed the video. I really couldn't have said what he said better myself.
One of the ways to be professional is to have strong communication skills. So a lot of the times we're communicating via email, and we can feel overwhelmed by checking our email often, and there's always the question of how should I respond or how long if I need to think about it. And there's a standard 48-hour rule. So when you're sending emails and talking with, say, a professor over email, you don't have to get back right away, but you shouldn't wait longer than 48 hours. Another way to be professional when communicating is to be open to multiple means of communication. So in addition to email, be open to talking on the phone, be open to face-to-face communication. So when you're talking with a professor, this could mean using office hours, using a few minutes after class to clarify questions and things like that. It could be to write notes and leave them in your professor's mailbox on campus. Another way to be professional as a student is to know your resources. So be aware of what's available on campus and make sure you utilize them. Some of the things available at Towson's campus are the Writing Center, where you can get papers proofread and edited. There's tutoring in Smith Hall. There is the Career Center, where you can get your resume revised and a cover letter started. So in addition to these resources, also make sure you take the extra step to go to your professor's office hours and get the extra instruction and clarify your questions.
Throughout the program, your life is group presentations and getting up in front of the class and delivering speeches. And also on fieldwork, you might be asked to give a presentation at the end of your fieldwork to the staff at the department that you're working at. Presentations aren't everyone's favorite thing, and they're often a source of anxiety for most of us. So here are some presentation tips to take to heart. So a good presenter has the ability to engage his or her audience throughout the entire presentation from beginning to end. Always avoid slang and jargon if you can. Always try to tie your ideas from the PowerPoint or presentation with practical examples to help the audience understand the concept better. Speak in varying tones and pitches to emphasize certain words and ideas. Deliver your speech slowly and clearly. Maintain an upright, relaxed posture while speaking. Maintain eye contact with the audience. Not so much that it's uncomfortable, but try to, as naturally as possible, go from person to person and make sure that you're involving them in the conversation. Wear professional attire and clothes that are comfortable with neutral tones. Please make sure not to overload the screen with a ton of text. Always utilize the notes section at the bottom of the PowerPoint to type your notes in, what you want to say during the presentation. At the beginning of your presentation, it's always a good idea to include an outline slide and an objectives slide. Always make sure to use good contrast in your colors on presentation. For example, dark text over a light background is best. Show up early. You'll be able to set up your materials and fix any technical issues you could run into. Have a strong opening. Speak with conviction. So this is one of my favorite tips, and that is believe in your material. If you can show the audience that you believe in your material and you're confident in that material, they'll believe in you too. And make sure that you're adhering to time limits. And I know in my experiences as OTs, we have so much to say about a lot of different things. But we have to be respectful of other groups that are presenting the same exact day. So you have to practice the length of the duration of your speech. And also your classmates will love you if you finish early. This is another one of my favorite tips, and it's something that you've been told over and over again, and that's to practice. And that can go understated. When I say practice, I want you to be able to know your material front and back. Practice, practice, practice over and over and over. Too many times I see classmates go up to give a presentation and just reading straight from paper. And yeah, of course this way you're less anxious because you have all the words right in front of you. But you're not making a connection with your audience when your head is down, you have a paper in front of you, you're not making any eye contact, maybe your voice is being muffled by the paper. So practice 2-3 times or however many times it takes to have you know your material. Because you want to be able to get up there, and I make it a point to know my material so well that I don't take any paper up there. I feel more comfortable not having anything in my hands because my nervous tell is I shake like this. So I try to memorize my material, but memorize it in a way that it comes off naturally. Practice alone and practice with your group mates. Time yourself. Make sure that you're adhering to your time limit. Practice with your group so that you make sure that everyone's adhering to the time limit and together the time works and everyone's cohesive and it's natural when you get up there in front of the actual class and give your presentation that you work so hard on. You're supposed to be the expert in that material, and so you want to sound like it. Always make sure that you're staying hydrated also before you give a presentation. It helps with your speech and it helps calm you down a little bit. So make sure everyone in the room can hear you. You don't want to be up there whispering because people will lose people won't listen, and Don't speak too quietly, but don't speak too loud either. Make it a natural volume that works for you. Don't rush through your material so fast that no one catches what you're saying, but don't go through it too slow that you're losing their attention as well. Well-placed pauses can help you to shed importance on an idea or dramatize something. And when you're giving a presentation, every second that goes by feels like an eternity sometimes. But if you do get nervous, if you feel anxious, take 5 seconds to just breathe. For inflection, you don't want to use a monotone voice. You want to be able to convey emotion and enthusiasm. If you're telling a joke, make sure it's politically correct, and don't tell a joke unless you know it well, because there are fewer things worse than not getting any laughs. Practicing is also important for eliminating stammer words or filler words like, so, well, those kind of things. It's really, really hard for an audience member to pay attention to your speech if every other word is and when you practice without saying those words, and then you won't say them when you get up in front of the classroom. Also, just a note on nervousness, it's completely natural, and it actually, to me, means that what you're doing is worth something, and that you're nervous because you want to do so well. The further you go into your presentation, the less nervous you're going to be. Drink plenty of water, get plenty of rest the night before, and know that it's coming, so it's something to expect, and when you expect something to come, it's not as threatening to you. So along with being a professional presenter, it's also so important to be a professional audience. Put down your cell phones, stay off email, stay off Facebook, stay off Pinterest. Do not go web surfing while classmates, professors, colleagues are speaking. There's nothing more frustrating than a presenter looking out into the audience and seeing someone on their cell phone or on the internet clearly not paying attention. Because you work so hard to give a presentation, and it's very disrespectful to do that to somebody.
All right, so 4 tips I have for giving a really great professional presentation is be confident, know what you're talking about, dress nicely, and make really great eye contact when you're presenting, and you'll be good to go.
So when I was a freshman, I definitely remember not feeling very confident in myself when it came to being assigned assignments and projects, just getting used to the OT jargon and just being a little overwhelmed. I definitely felt nervous and would go to my professors and try to get help and be like, I don't know what I should do, where I should go with this, just be completely overwhelmed and confused. But definitely as the years have gone by and I've had more experience in field work, I've definitely built up more confidence, and now I can go up to my professors and say, hey, this is where I think this is going, and am I on the right path, and sort of show them that I've problem solved on my own, and we can maybe talk through it together as opposed to just going to them empty-handed and asking to where to start from square one. I think they really appreciate that you've made an effort.
So just like you heard Emily say, throughout the program, you're going to get a lot of assignments that will require a lot of problem solving. And just a story from my fieldwork, at GBMC for Physical Dysfunction Level 2 internship, I had a supervisor who had pretty high standards, and so whenever I would ask her a question, she would often say, look it up. And then I would think to myself, oh, come on, you're my supervisor, you're supposed to answer these questions. But I would try to be as professional as I can about it, and go to the computer and look up the question and find out the answer, and then incorporate the answer into my learning and into my practice there at the internship. So then came my second level 2 internship at the VA in Baltimore, and I really loved this internship. It was a totally different experience than GBMC. I just felt so much more confident in myself. My supervisor, at the end of my affiliation with them, told me that I was the best student she's ever had, and that meant so much to me. And she gave me this letter of recommendation that she wrote for me my last week there for me to give to employers when it's time for me to go out and get jobs. And I really think it was because of the initiative I was taking throughout the entire internship. I would be able to do things without her having to tell me. I would be able to look concepts up without her having to tell me to do so. So in a way, I really have to thank my last supervisor for being so hard on me and giving me the opportunity to be resourceful and be independent in my learning. Getting involved with your profession is one of the best ways to develop yourself as a professional. And by that I mean going to occupational therapy events and also becoming members of occupational therapy organizations. So in our department, there is something called the Living and Learning Program.
Last year I had the opportunity to go to the Student Conclave, which was in Ohio. I think it's a wonderful opportunity for OT students to go get some professional advice as well as listen to peers. There was an expo where they had different employers from around the country there to just talk about their company and talk about opportunities. There was also an animal assisted booth where they talked about how OTs can use animals as a type of therapy. There was a fieldwork panel, which I found to be very helpful, where they gave us advice on fieldwork and you were able to ask fieldwork educators what they were looking for in students. Really, it was a really great experience and I would really recommend taking advantage of this opportunity, as I found it to be very helpful to develop your professional skills as well as learn more about the OT profession.
Happiness is the truth, because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. Your love is too high to bring me down. Can't none bring me down. I said, because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along.
Vortner, and this year I was given the opportunity to volunteer at the American Occupational Therapy Association conference, which was in our backyard, Baltimore, this year, as well as attend sessions, the expo, and network with other students and professionals across the country. At conference, one of my favorite things was attending the Vice President Amy Lamb's session on the distinct value of occupational therapy. At the expo, I was able to meet with employers across the country and learn about exciting employment opportunities such as traveling, contracting, or staying locally within hospitals, school settings. At the expo, there was also booths advertising the latest technologies, as well as poster sessions which talked about the latest evidence-based practice, including professionals and students, which was really exciting to see people our own age doing such amazing research. At conference, I attended a sensory integration session as well as a mental health recovery model session and occupational therapy becoming involved in primary care. I feel as though if I hadn't attended conference, I wouldn't have gotten the unique perspectives on these topics, and it also opened up new doors for practice as an entry-level occupational therapist. I also attended a few sessions that were beneficial to becoming an entry-level occupational therapist. These included a MBCOT prep course as well as a new practitioner panel, and these courses helped answer a lot of questions that I had and make me feel more confident as I become an OT.
If you feel like a room without a roof, clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Hey, bring me down, can't none bring me down. Your love is too high. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, bring me down, can't none bring me down. Your love is too high. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down.
So I have a friend at a fellow occupational therapy university, and she was telling me about a buddy system or a mentorship that the upperclassmen take like one student from a lower class, and they have kind of establish a rapport and they get each other's contact information, and they create a buddy system. So this younger classman can go to this upperclassman with any kind of concerns that they have about the program or about a certain class or something that's happening to them. And it seems to be really beneficial. So I thought, why not take it to Towson University? Personally, I would have really benefited from a mentorship program here at Towson University because there were so many times when I had questions and I would have rather asked an upperclassman about projects, fieldwork, or about a professor. So I think you could really benefit from the support of an upperclassman for some advice in those areas. Since this program doesn't exist, I think it would be a great idea for future or our existing OT students to develop this program of mentorship, to have that one-on-one support.
When Allison told me about this mentorship idea that she had, I knew I had to share it with you guys. It's an amazing opportunity for you guys to take the bull by the horns and start this program up. Think about all the times that you wish you knew somebody from the upper cohorts that has had experience with the same classes, the same teachers, the same assignments, the same hardships, the same troubles, the same overwhelming experience that you're going through every single day in this program, that could help you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I truly appreciate it. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to contact me at my email that I'll put at the end of the video in the credits section. There's so much you can do with occupational therapy when you get to where I am right now. I wish I would have taken advantage of way more events, did way more independent learning while I was still in school. Good luck on field work. Remember to be confident and take initiative. Good luck in the program. You'll do amazing.